So, I recently joined the micro jam, which was a 48-hour jam with the theme Duality and a prerequisite mouse input only. Initially, I wanted to make a 2D game with pixel art, but since I suck at it, I had only one other alternative. So, the game idea came from a Discord chat, beaming words into his subconscious. Reading this, I instantly had a vague idea of what I wanted to make. Let me get the scene. A man with a gun asking questions from you at gunpoint, and you have to choose the words from his thoughts. If you are too scared, it can lead to some unfortunate circumstances, or if you are being too rude, it can lead to some other unfortunate circumstances. Your job is to keep him calm but not rude. Your job is to avoid these unfortunate circumstances. As I initially wanted to go for 2D pixel art for this game's visuals, I did try to make a pixel art background, but as you can see, I had to swerve due to the severe lack of pixel art skills. And so, I started with a not so riggable model, but fixed it, rigged it on Mixamo, and got on to texture painting. And as I already had in mind the kind of environment and colors I wanted for the game, it didn't take a lot of time to set up. Some red fog, red lighting, and a red tint to top it all up did the job perfectly. So, before this question and answer dialogue system, I never actually worked with or handled any dialogue system for a game. So this was totally new ground for me. But I did know some basics, like usually in games, you use a JavaScript object notation or a JSON file for storing this kind of data. For my game, I needed a question, some options for those questions, nature for each option, which would range from arrogant to neutral to scared, and finally the effect each option would have if selected based on the nature of that option. Okay, so this is gonna get a bit confusing. In the JSON file, I had an array and added a dictionary inside it. This dictionary had two keys. The first one contained the question and the second key had another array which housed more dictionaries that contained the properties for each option, like the text displayed, the effect, the nature or tone of that option, and finally the color of the text displayed. And now I could just add more dictionaries in the options array for as many options as I liked. After setting the whole system to pull questions and pump out choosable options, the game was basically done. So, after some bug hunting, I had the whole night remaining in front of me. I was kinda skeptical at first if I'd have the time to do so, but in the end, I did manage to add 3 endings for the game. I named these endings the O ending, the S ending, and the T ending. I got the idea to name these endings for a letter which appear in the end screen sentence from this small, insignificant little game, Near Automata. You may or may not have heard of it, but it is known to some as the game with 26 endings. These endings are named from ending A to ending Z and followed by some other joke endings. It's really great stuff. But if you want to know what endings O, S and T stand for in my game, you'll have to play the game and find that out yourselves. So, now with around 4 hours remaining on the clock, the intro cutscenes, well, seeing as there was only one, was finally done. So, why don't you have a look at it? After this, in my mind, I had a pretty solid and polished build. So I published the game on itch and asked some friends for feedback. And oh my shit, did I get that feedback. As usual, but still unexpected by me, the game was completely broken. How broken, you ask? Well, when you die or fail in a game, you usually wanna try again, right? Well, in this, you couldn't, because the play again button didn't work. And when it did, it didn't reset this little bar in the corner, which just decided what ending you got. The thing is, when you press the play again button, you re-enter the game, which resets everything. But here, this is a global auto loop or a global singleton. Its literal job is that it keeps data even if the scene is changed. And of course, as you might have guessed, it contains the stats of this bar. And as you might have guessed again, of course, I completely forgot to reset that. A novice mistake. Actually, it was pointed out to me by this legend who helped me test the game and reported bugs for like the whole 4 hours. He also named Gibson, by the way. You don't know Gibson, you say? Of course you do. He's the one with the gun. Other than that, the win condition was also broken. Like, it will just show you the wrong ending for no reason. Wasn't too big of an issue though, just a case of my brain not braining. And lastly, we cannot miss the mess and chaos that was the tutorial. I mean, it was simple and completely usable, but it was also way too bland and just bloated. So, with some feedback, I ended up color coding the different tips to help the player differentiate between them easily. So, after this, with around 30 minutes remaining and most of the bugs phased out, I finally submitted the game and went to get some much needed sleep. The voting period also lasted around 48 hours, and while I didn't win, I was honestly pretty happy with how the game placed in most categories. Theme, though, yeah, that one tanked all the damage. My idea was to show duality through emotions and tones in dialogue, trying to get a different take on the theme. But in hindsight, only after someone asked me personally about how it even fit the theme did I realize that I never really explained how it did. I just put the bar at the bottom and expected everyone to read my mind. But hey, lesson learned, right? Right? Anyways, getting to the highlight of this jam. This was the first jam where I actually finished a playable game in the time limit, and for me, that alone was a huge win. So, that was it. If you'd like to check out the game, the link will be in the description. You don't need to download anything or just click, play and enjoy. Leave a feedback and also a 5-star rating. So, thanks for watching and as always, see you in the next one. Hopefully. Maybe. Soon.